you will watch on this podcast.
This is not fixed single point. It's a journey. Your purpose is something that evolves over time. It's more of a direction in life than it is a single destination.
Just a few people really know what they want and what they're looking forward to, and that's totally normal.
Is what you're good at, or you feel you're good at, can be something that you do on a regular basis, so you become a kind of master.
And so enjoying that journey, enjoying the growth, enjoying the times you fall short and you get off track.
Welcome back to this Wellness Billion podcast, my friends. So nice seeing you. It's been a while we didn't film a podcast, to be honest. We kind of had some schedule issues, but today we're filming a new one with an amazing guest whose name is Katie, that I'm going to let Carrie Moore, my dad, introduce.
Yeah, hi guys, happy to see you back. Well, he didn't explain you why. He has such a hectic schedule as having 2.7 million followers that I have difficulties to catch him. Here we are today with Katie Molumby, also known as Purposeful Katie. And she's a certified health coach, author, and wellness advocate with nearly a decade of experience in social services. She has helped hundreds achieve their health and wellness goals by combining insight from nutrition, psychology, mental health, and lifestyle choices also to create a more intentional approach to well-being. Her recent achievement is the launch of her book, Purposeful Health, an intentional guide to personalized wellness, a deeply researched guide in exploring over 150, areas of health with the passion of holistic wellness. Katie empowers individuals to navigate self-care, physical and mental health, and personal growth with purpose and clarity. Is that you, Katie?
That is. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I really appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit what brought you here.
Yes. Well, I am a huge fan of what you guys are doing already. And I honestly, I feel like your topics, your mission aligns a lot with mine. And though we're on opposite sides of the world, I thought it would be great to come here and have a wonderful conversation with you too. I kind of was on a journey of finding my own purpose, and that led me to health coaching. I always knew I wanted to support people in something related to health. I initially thought I wanted to be in the medical field. I realized very quickly that I don't have the stomach for a lot of what that entails. And so I figured supporting people in a more social environment is more appropriate for me. But when I started going into social work and working directly with my clients, I realized that there's a huge gap between the way people live their lives on a day-to-day basis and what they're getting in the doctor's office. And so I wanted to kind of be someone that advocates to kind of invite people to think deeper about what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, how they're treating their bodies, how they're viewing their life, and kind of being the expert of their own body and health. I was seeing that people were feeling kind of defeated in many areas. They would have a lot of complaints, but when they go to the doctor, they're not getting that face-to-face time with the doctors. So it was in and out. They would go back to the same things they were doing before, which would lead to more problems, not getting to the root of those issues, and more confusion and feeling more defeated. So I wanted to kind of step in and open up a space for people to really talk about what's going on with their bodies, talk about what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and really get clear on how we can improve the little things, that they're the choices that they're making every day, and how that really makes the biggest impact on their health overall. So
that's a great mission, and
that's amazing.
I can understand. We can understand how you came about to do what you do and the way you're doing it, and for good reasons, by the way.
Helping people is one of the most beautiful things you could do. Like find their ways, find their healthy ways as well. Because finding your way is easy, but finding a healthy way, a healthy path to follow is the hard part.
And also, you mentioned something very important, Katie. The most important commodity that we have is time. And when you go to a doctor and he doesn't have time to give you, whereas you have so many things to share and so many things deep inside you that people like you are like people that need to be around to be able to help out those people to get what they really need. It's in a much more profound way. I don't have anything against doctors. It's just that it's about timing. We probably have one doctor for thousands of people that need doctors, and this is why coaches such as you are very, very welcome in our world, particularly today's.
Thank you. I agree. And, everyone has a different ideal health. And so while doctors are wonderful, we all need them. I think having that personalized approach is really something that's missing in standard healthcare practices. And that's where coaches really excel at bringing that personalized one-on-one understanding and time to process and make those changes.
Exactly. Well, let's dive right into the first article. Guys, just a quick reminder, as you know, this podcast is structured in 3 different parts, 3 different articles. Each one of us is going to present one article. So I'm going to let Katie present the first one so we can discuss about it.
Yeah, and it'll be about the wellness in general, in purpose in particular, but about general wellness, as the second article will be about marketing on wellness, and the third will be between the impact of AI on the human being wellness, which is a big topic today. So let's go.
All right, the first one. My purpose changed many times, and that's okay. Things to remember or take away is that purpose is not fixed. It evolves. Many people feel pressure to find a single lifelong purpose, but the truth is that purpose shifts with experiences, personal growth, and external circumstances. Accepting this flexibility allows for more fulfilling and adaptable approach for life. Number 2, exploration leads to clarity. Trying different paths, whether through new careers, hobbies, or relationships, helps refine what truly matters. Those who embrace experimentation and change often discover a deeper sense of meaning than those who wait for purpose to appear. Number 3, impact matters more than a title. Purpose isn't necessarily tied to a specific job or achievement. It's about the contribution you make and how you affect others. Small, meaningful actions in daily life can be just as fulfilling as grand ambitions.
Yeah, well, this brings me to a first question. How do you think individuals can navigate the evolution of their purpose without feeling overwhelmed by it, especially when their health and wellness goals seems to shift alongside their personal growth?
I think that's a wonderful question, and I don't necessarily think there's a right answer for everyone. I think what you're saying, keeping in mind that this is going to change. This is not a fixed single point. It's a journey. Your purpose is something that evolves over time. It's more of a direction in life than it is a single destination. And so enjoying that journey, enjoying the growth, enjoying the times you fall short and you get off track, all of that is part of that journey. And that's all beautiful. And a lot of times it's those times where we feel like we're lost or we're falling short that teach us the most or reaffirm really what our purpose is and can motivate us and guide us back on path and going forward. So just remembering that it's going to be a unique process for everyone. And it's not a single, I made it to my purpose, my life is complete kind of feeling. It's more, I'm heading in the right direction.
Do you have a kind of methods that you go along with your clients as far as the purpose is concerned?
That's a great question. So when I'm talking about purpose, like our life purpose, there's questions that I ask. A lot of what we just kind of discussed, what lights you up? What do you feel like you could do for hours on end and time just kind of disappears? What did you feel called to as a child? A lot of times those first ambitions and things that really motivated us can be hints. Also, what would you do if money was not a factor? What would you do for free and still feel like your life is fulfilled? There's a lot of these questions that you can ask. What motivates you? Where do you feel most fulfilled? So I think it's rather than pretending like it's one thing, it's asking a set of questions that can kind of guide you in that direction. And again, it can change with people over time. We all are growing and evolving every day. We have life experiences that change the way we view things very, very drastically sometimes. So pretending like it's going to be one direction your whole life is not necessarily accurate either.
Yeah, it changed with age, it changed with the circumstances you have around you. What do you think, Yassine?
I mean, I totally agree. Actually, I feel lucky. I feel lucky enough that I found my path, my today's path, because maybe in 5 years it's going to change, but my today's path, finding it at 27 years old, being able to inspire over 2 million people on social media, and just loving what I do and making money with what I do, with actually my passion, because I'm passionate about creating content in not only creating content, but creating content in a healthy way. So showing people on how to live a healthier life, just using my daily life and my daily advice and daily things that I do. I get inspired by the output and then the input that people give me. And that's just amazing. So I know that 5 years ago, that wasn't my purpose. I hated, for example, social media. I hated just taking the phone and starting filming myself and just putting myself out there on social media. I hated the eye of other people. But when I started, I was like, okay, maybe this is a path that I could just go towards to. I started doing it day after day, and I started loving it.
There's a story behind it, Yassine. There's a story of COVID. Remember?
Yeah, there's this story of COVID, obviously, because we found ourselves just stuck without doing anything and being able to do anything. So I was like, okay, the only way to be able to do something is throw myself out there on social media and see what happens. And at the end, 5 years later, this is my job. My job is just to inspire people through a healthy lifestyle, through my videos, through entertainment. And I don't know if in 5 years my purpose is going to be the same or not. So I totally agree when you say that your purpose definitely changes depending on circumstances and depending on your age as well, and your goals in life. And it's a good thing, because if your purpose is the same when you're a kid, then when you're like 70 or whatever, maybe you did something wrong. Maybe you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve. But if it keeps on evolving, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, and when I think about purpose, something comes to my mind that I teach my three kids and my wife also. It's a concept that it's several cycles old. It's called the ikigai. Maybe you know about it, Katie. The ikigai is a Japanese concept. Do you know about it?
It rings a bell, but like right
Okay,
now.
so just to explain to our audience, ikigai is the conjunction for circles. The first circle is what can you be good at? What do you feel you can be good at? And you can go back to your youth, saying, oh, what I like to do when I was young was this, was building this, touching that. For instance, for myself, it was using animals and trying to understand how they work. And here I'm in biotech today, trying to find out how the body works. So it was all about research and so on, a lot of mathematics. So I did mathematics also. So I needed to cross all those. So the first circle is, what are you good at? The second circle is what you're good at, or you feel you're good at, can be something that you do on a regular basis, so you become a kind of master. That's the Japanese way of looking at things. And then the third circle is, can this first what you're good at, and second what you can be the master at, have an economical engine? Because that's the way you'll be a monk in the mountains doing yoga or something like, which is possible also. And the fourth, which for me is the most important one, without the other three won't be complete, is what can you bring to the world that is higher than yourself in those first three circles. And this is why it completes it. It's called ikigai. It's a Japanese concept. And it's very powerful. And during when my kids were over, I would say 14, 15, I always try to speak to them about the ikigai, trying for them to find their purpose in life, something they love doing, something that can bring them a living, because at the end of the day, we need to have a living, and to love it, and to be able to say, okay, today, as Yassine explained, here I am, this is what I do, and maybe in 2-3 years, I'll do something else, I'll cross some other roads to allow me to do things. So guys, look at Ikigai is a very important concept, finding your purpose and living by it.
Definitely.
I love that.
So in your experience, Katie, how does embracing the fluidity of one's purpose enhance the effectiveness of personalized wellness strategies as you practice it?
Yes. Again, it's about finding new tools that can support us on our journey rather than, one thing that we clutch to in difficult times. I think adaptability is a huge part of purpose and wellness. It's really getting to know ourselves. The journey within really leads us on our best journey without, outside of ourselves. So, I think you guys both are a big testament to that, and seeing how the success that you found, and really seeing that when you're doing what you love, you're magnetic. The world responds to you loving what you're doing and shining your purpose outward, and for me with purpose and wellness, it's really getting to the bottom of the why behind our actions. A lot of times I think we lose that today. There's a lot of fad diets and trends and, one size fits all plans. And I think health is a very intimate experience. I think it should be very personalized. And I think we're losing that a little bit with the generalized health ideas that are put out there. And so I really, while a lot of them have a lot of great information and a great things that can be applied, I think we really need to think about taking everything personally and saying, is this right for me? If so, how? And figuring out, individually what works and what doesn't, rather than just taking something and seeing that it works for your neighbor, I'm going to do the same thing kind of thing. Health should be, what do I really want? Why do I want that? And then what things are going to align with that goal and that why. A lot of people want to lose weight, especially, a lot of my clients, that's an underlying trend. But when I ask them why they want to lose weight, why is very different for everyone. Some people want to just haven't felt confident in years, they want their confidence back. Some people want that vitality. They want to feel like they can get up and have that energy again. They want to keep up with their kids. So everyone has a different why. And I think understanding that and really kind of building our health and wellness practices around those whys are one of the best ways to keep it personal, rather than just a cookie cutter, one size fits all approach.
Definitely. It's all about personalizing what a person needs to be able to become healthy, to lose weight, to gain muscle, to just feel good about themselves. And there's no one size fits all. I totally agree with you. There's this first step of taking conscious of what is healthy and what's not. So I would call it this one size fits all in this kind of environment. But then if you want to go like specifically towards your health and your longevity specifically, you need to have very precise metrics to be able to go towards that.
Yes, and I will add something very important. When we decided to start our biotech company, EPI, we first sit down with Yassine and all the team, and we decided to find a very strong, what we call a massive transformative purpose. And it's written like this in our website. It's massive transformative purpose, written as such. And our massive transformative purpose is to inspire ultra-personalized, bulletproof wellness for the future of humankind. So this is in general. Then we have moonshots. Our moonshot is to help stakeholders like you inspire ultra-personalized nutrition to reverse metabolic diseases and its overaging domino effects. That's the moonshot. So through nutrition, you were speaking about nutrition a few minutes ago, we feel nutrition is the first door, and it's a pattern that you use 3 times a day. So it's the good entry door to that can change your mood, that can build or destroy your health. and you have so many false information with this one size fits all that I was reading an article this morning about the food in the US. It's very different than in Europe, very different than anywhere else. And they have, I've heard people working with the new Kennedy team saying that, for instance, some food, they used to have 10 years ago only 700 different additives that were authorized. Today they have 1,000 additives authorized, which is a lot. So the food you have in the US is not the same as the food you send to Canada from the US, made in the US. So all this makes me think that the purpose is the root of what you do.
Yes.
And then the moonshot leads you to wherever you want to go, but sticking to your root purpose.
I love that.
Definitely.
Yes.
And there is also another thing I want to share with you guys. Sometimes, you with your clients, Katie, you might find this kind of clients, and they're very, very welcome, because sometimes I think we have to embrace our purpose ambiguity. I mean, that means encourage individuals to find value in the uncertainty of their purpose, promoting with them a mindset that where the lack of a defined purpose is seen as an opportunity for continuous exploration and growth rather than a void to be filled. So it's like you said, it's the process is on the way. What do you think?
I love that. I think there's no shame in feeling uncertain about what your purpose is. My job is never to tell anyone what their purpose is. I like to ask questions to kind of get people to think for themselves in those areas, and I think sometimes we see some people that seem to just have it all figured out, and that can be really intimidating and almost kind of defeating. We start to compare and think that we must be lost,
Compare.
Yes.
Compare thing.
Compare, yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, please go deeper into that compare thing, because it's a very important thing.
Right. Well, I try to inspire people. That's my goal. I feel like it's very easy to cross that line and want to compare or compete. And that's natural. Jealousy is a natural human emotion we all feel from time to time. But really seeing if something is triggering you to feel jealous or feel less than in some way, they likely are doing something or have something that you desire. So really, and rather than shying away and carrying a negative feeling towards it, it's meant to inspire us. It's meant to trigger something within us that says, I want more of that, genuinely. And there's no shame in that. So I think while confidence and being sure of your path and your purpose, that's a wonderful thing, and it can inspire a lot of people in the world. It can cause a lot of people to feel even more lost, and they're so far off from that, and that's intimidating and not a good feeling. So there's no shame in feeling lost. I've been lost. I felt like I was so far off path. Years ago, I really wondered if I was ever going to find what lit me up and
Mm-hmm.
how I wanted to help people. I just felt like I was very far off from that. So continuing to look and continuing to fill your life with what lights you up and what feels authentic to you. We all have that kind of inner guiding light, and just honoring that. And no matter how small or insignificant it can look, people have like something as far off as like a worm farm, and you could say, how is that your purpose? Well, that person is nurturing the soil. They're caring for something else that's providing a lot of value to the world, regardless of how big their audience is, how many fans they have, how many people they're inspiring on a day-to-day basis. That is a purpose. It's not about the acclaim that you receive or the title that you have with it. It's really about living fulfilling what lights you up inside, like letting that be your guide. And I think you guys are both a big testament to that is magnetic, that is contagious. And
Mm-hmm.
when you continue to follow that, the world is going to, I don't want to say reward, but it's going to continue to lift you up in that way because you're honoring what lights you up.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
Well, Yassine, when you see your friends around you, do you have any models or examples you can share with us of people that you feel or they say they didn't find their purpose, yes, and they seem to be lost at
Yeah,
their age, maybe
I mean,
28?
at their age, there's a lot of people that haven't find their purpose, that haven't find what they truly love, and they're just finding themselves, which is actually normal at my age to be able to search ourselves and be like, okay, what should I do now? Like, just finish studying. Now I don't know what path should I take, and that's why at the beginning I said like I'm lucky enough to have been able to find what I loved at a young age, like at 22 years old. I already knew what path I wanted to take. Let's say that generally my generation, they don't know what they want. Just a few people really know what they want and what they're looking forward to, and that's totally normal. It's also social media like lets us compare ourselves to other people. So like, oh, maybe I should do like him, or I should do like her, or whatever. And this is kind of tricky as well for our generations because we're fully connected. So we're comparing ourselves every single day at every single hour of the day. It's like, oh wow, look at this, I want to do like him, or I want to do like her. So this is kind of complicated as well in for our generation.
I got your point. Yassine, I got your point. I agree. Social networks didn't help. And it could also be taken as a way to inspire people to do. I want to be like him, or I want to be like her. So you have the other side of the coin, which you say, okay, I want to be like Katie, or I want to be like Yassine, doing what they do. I love it. He inspires me, so I want to go and jump on it and do it. I mean, you inspired me going into social media. I was not in social media. I said to myself, okay, what I'm good at? Okay, I'm good at biotech. I'm good at tech. I'm good at deep tech. I'm going to share this in social media. I was doing conferences all over the world, but I didn't know about social media. So you Yassine, inspired me in doing that. But there's something about purpose that strikes me. I think we should get deeper into the educational systems, and that may incorporate curricula that focuses on helping students understand the evolving nature of purpose, and they should equip them with the tools to adapt and thrive amidst change. And I think it's of the education system's responsibility, because purpose is such an important thing. You know it, Katie. You know it, Yassine. I know it. And a lot of people know it because, as you said, Katie, they sometimes want to lose weight just for their image. There is some underlying questions they ask themselves and so on and so forth. But I think education has a big role to play in that arena. And very early on, they should be, as we educated for everything, respecting the others, not throwing papers on the street. I mean, purpose is part of yourself for yourself.
I love that. And I agree. I think, the time where I felt lost was the time where it came to like picking a school and picking a career path, because I just didn't feel ready at that time. I felt very unclear, but I felt like I had no choice. It was now or never, but it wasn't something that I had been talked about like throughout my whole school career. It was like I got to 16, 17, and it was like, you got to choose now, and that's your direction for the rest of your life. It was a lot of pressure, and I felt like I wasn't ready to make that decision to determine the rest of my life. And it led to a lot of stress, anxiety, even depression for a while at that age. So I think you're right. It should be something that we're introducing to kids at a very early age and encouraging them to understand that it's okay if it changes. It's not expected that this is going to be your life sentence right now, because that pressure is hard to live up to, I think, especially at that early age.
Spot on.
Definitely.
Spot on. Well, Yassine, that's a good transition for the second article.
Yeah, we'll dive right into the second article, which is again marketing related to wellness. So basically the title says, is gatekeeping cool now? Let's dive into the 3 key points. The first one, the article explores how brands are moving away from mass accessibility and reintroducing exclusivity to create deeper consumer loyalty. In the wellness industry, this could mean offering private memberships, invite-only retreats, or limited access content to increase perceived value. Second point, community-driven engagement. Instead of traditional influencer marketing, brands are focusing on niche, highly engaged communities. Wellness brands can benefit from this by fostering tightening online and offline wellness communities where members feel a sense of belonging and shared identity. And the third and last point, authenticity versus hype. Consumers are becoming more skeptical of mass market trends and are drawn to brands that uphold authenticity. In wellness, this means prioritizing genuine expertise, scientifically backed products, and meaningful storytelling over flashy, trend-driven marketing.
You, Katie, your brand is, as we understood it, correcting me if I'm wrong, is the Purposeful Katie.
Purposeful Health is my business, but yeah, the way I put myself out there is Purposeful Katie. Yes.
Okay. Yassine is Mamba Fit. His brand is very, very strong. It's called Mamba Fit. Our brand is Epi, like epigenetics. It's a derivative of epigenetics. I think we have to defend our brand very strongly because as I was speaking about and then I get to the question. I was speaking about the ikigai. I think identity has to confront with our purpose, which means that even if we evolve, our identity has to steward our purpose and to be what we want to be in this purpose country we want to be in. So my question to you, Katie, and Yassine also, how do you think wellness brands can create a sense of exclusivity that enhances value and deepens community engagement without alienating potential customers?
That's a wonderful question. I think there's a really fine balance there because you want to market to anyone that would be interested, potential clients. You don't want to, like you said, alienate anyone. You want to make you might not be a good fit for everyone on the planet, but you want to make sure that anyone that is hearing your message and feels like they're welcome to join you on your mission. So I think it's about really sweetening up your experience with your clients, making sure that they feel a part of a community that matters and that cares about them genuinely, but understanding that those relationships aren't going to happen like right off the bat, so taking time to continue to build those relationships and have them be authentic in a place where they feel comfortable coming and opening up about their experiences, good or bad. I'm still learning and growing in this area because I think it's hard. I think I've initially started wanting to appeal to everyone, and I realized that that's not really the best way to go about things. There's a specific audience that is meant for me. And so continuing to really get clear on what that audience is. And then once I establish those relationships, kind of trying to do more to make sure that they still feel a part of the community that I'm trying to establish for them. That's my goal at the end of the day. How about you, Yassine?
Personally, I totally agree with you on this point. But I have, let's say, this touches a lot my area of expertise and my job, because basically I'm a macro influencer, macro content creator. So when brands reach out to me, it's to reach a very broad audience. Okay. The thing is that I have a specific type of communication. People follow me for a specific thing, and they follow me for me. So whenever a brand is contacting me to be able to spread the word, I'm spreading the word in my way with a product or service that I believe in. I give you a simple example that I always give. I always refuse stuff that doesn't align with my values. So this at first. Now, when you do marketing, there's 2 different ways of doing marketing here. The article mentioned that brands are not taking broad kind of influencers or content creators to spread out the word. I strongly believe that you need both strategies. You need big influencers and you need niche influencers as well. The big ones are going to spread the word. The small ones are going to drive to action. Are going to like do this step of, okay, driving to action because I want to be part of this small community. I want to do this. I want to do that. But at the end of the day, when you price your offer accordingly to what you offer, for example, you offer a personalized nutrition with a one-on-one coaching or one-on-one feedback every single time, or every hour you can text me or whatever, and you price yourself high, out of 1,000 people, you're gonna have 3 clients. So automatically it's gonna shrink down to your specific needs and people that are gonna want you because you want to follow you as their mentor in their healthy journey.
I would say something. I would say something in between, guys. It's not my type, but I'd go for it. I agree that the influencers have to have their niche. It can be broad, it can be pretty tight, but also that someone who needs your services as whatever wellness coach, let's say, because we're all wellness coaches on one side, on one way or another. They have to find in you someone who solves their problem. And this brings me to bringing awareness to people of, first of all, that we understand their world because we make it ours. And this is why they listen or look at us. And second, bring them up a solution that can solve or help solve or inspire them to solve their problems. So yes, we can have a broad audience, but at the end, like you said, Yassine, some people will recognize that they need you for some goal they have, also a problem they have to solve. So in the middle of all this, related to wellness, we all problem solver, and we have to assume it. Say, okay, when I speak to people, I mean, when I look at you, Yassine, when you do your recipes on YouTube or on Instagram, you do your recipe in a way to explain people that they can do a simple recipe, but a healthy recipe that can be as good as in a good restaurant, but as cheap as the one recipe you will find in one of the cheapest restaurants you will find, except that it has taste. It's nice to look at. It's nice to cook. So you are presenting a whole experience to those people. And I'm sure that people are, even if it's not your, I would say, focus, people are aligning with the way you cook, and they embedded it and they embraced it. And I think they cook even more, even if we're starting during the COVID, but they cook even more at home, or at least they're aware of what they eat when they eat outside because you make them aware of it. So you are a problem solver related to this type of handling food. See what I mean? And I think with the increasing demand for authenticity, we have to find innovative ways. And you, Yassine, because I know you, I follow you, you find always an innovative way to put your message across. And sometimes I'm under the feeling that you talk to people that are over 60. And sometimes I'm under the impression you talk to people that are 20, 30 years old. So it depends on the circumstances, but your message get across according to the environment you're in, with the circumstances that you live. So I think, again, with this, one size doesn't fit all.
That's so true. Very well said.
It's all about, I mean, at some point, when you arrive at a stage where you want to grow even more and get more people and just grow a bigger audience, you have, like you said, you definitely have to address some posts to a certain category and some other posts to a smaller age range. I mean, there's different ways to be able to talk to an audience. If I kept on talking to a smaller audience, I mean, a younger audience, I wouldn't have been able to grow as much as I grew today, or the other way around. So I believe that even a macro influencer or content creator can target a specific community in their community. So yeah.
How do you handle that, Katie?
I agree with that. I think, that's one of the best parts about continuing to evolve is you don't have to stay stagnant and have, like, while purpose is a big part of my focus in health, intentionality. I don't, I share a lot of recipes too. I love to share workout stuff. So it's not all intellectual, more thinking. A lot of it is physical action stuff too. So I think expanding outside, the important part is it's still your authentic self sharing the message. You're still, that underlying theme of what you're trying to do as a health influencer or health coach, that's still there. And you're that person. So as long as you're showing up as your authentic self, it's okay to kind of sway or try different strategies or have a different focus or a different age group in a particular post or message.
Oh, here you touch an acupuncture point on me, because I think I agree. I think we have to think about radical transparency over exclusivity. I mean, they were talking about being exclusive in brands and so on. So I think instead of making wellness feel like an exclusive club, we could. I mean, I'm doing it. We can flip the script by making like science-backed wellness knowledge and experience radically transparent and accessible. That's what I do. I'm always, if you went to my LinkedIn or my Instagram, you see I always cite articles by MIT or Stanford research centers and so on and so forth. So I make it a science-backed because it's me. I'm a science guy, so I push it for science. Whereas Yassine push it more for fun. Having just light, life is light. And I think brands could offer open source wellness platform where consumers get direct access to research, for me, expert opinions and peer verified insight, reducing dependence on influencer culture. I'm sorry, Yassine, because some influencers on wellness are crap influencers because they lie to their audiences just to sell them something they don't even believe in, and this is dangerous. So I believe when you are preaching whatever you preach, you have to be backed up by either your experience or expertise as a doctor, as a medical, as a researcher, or whatever science-backed article you have behind you. But certainly not by announcing things that you don't even believe in and that you sell to people, which is probably something of a harm to them.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Absolutely. I think that's the importance of understanding, the responsibility that comes with being in a, putting yourself out there and wanting to lead in a space like health and wellness. It's important to really think about, is this genuinely going to help someone? Before you put something out there. I think if you're viewing it through a critical lens before you just make an impulse post or share, something you just read, I think that can really help. Just having a little bit of reserved nature in what you're sharing. Not that doesn't mean you're being authentic in it, but you're not just sharing on a whim. You're really thinking like, is this going to benefit someone if I put it out?
Definitely agree. Well, perfect timing to be able to pass to the third and last article.
So the third and last article is on me, right? Yes. So
it's all about your passion about AI.
The impact of AI on humankind. The title of the article is AI in mental health support. So the points to remember is the first point is enhance accessibility and immediate support. AI chatbot could provide a 24/7 availability, offering instant support regardless of time and location. This constant accessibility can be particularly beneficial during moments of crisis, providing users with immediate assistance and resources. The second point of this AI related to human being article is personalized support and guidance. So by utilizing machine learning algorithms, AI chatbot can tailor their responses to individual needs and preferences, delivering customized support that may enhance the effectiveness of interventions. The third part of the article is concerns about quality and safety. So despite their potential AI chatbots may lack of emotional intelligence and ethical consideration. That's the other side of the coin, and this is inherent to human therapists. There have been instances where reliance of AI for mental health support has led to negative outcomes, underscoring the need for caution and professional oversights. That's a big topic. So, guys, yes, this is my area of passion, so I can talk about it for hours. But let me ask you a question, Katie. How do you think AI chatbots can be ethically designed to ensure, I would say, they provide meaningful mental health support without creating a kind of over reliance or misinformation?
That's a wonderful question. Everything's continuing to evolve, I think, daily here in the field of AI. So I would say I hope that they think about programming things to when it gets to a certain point when a person is having an experience like suicidal ideation or something like that, that there is something programmed where the AI would say, it's time for you to reach out to, like providing those resources that can help them. And it's more than that line of AI support can provide. So I think it's time that you go see a therapist or the psych clinic at the hospital. Here's the number and how to get there. Just making sure that there's a certain point where a person isn't just going back and forth with AI for all of their needs and thinking that that's going to have everything covered. There should be kind of a line where it's saying, I think you need more help than I can provide.
I definitely agree with you. I mean, there's a line where you don't have to cross, obviously, with AI. But nowadays, like AI can help you lots and lots and lots to be able to give you guidance until a certain point. There's a certain point where, yes, I agree, you have to go see a doctor or a professional or whatever. But with the input that we have, thanks to the internet and thanks to all the input that health coaches and everything put on the internet, we can give like clear feedback to a person thanks to the chatbots. Now it needs to be ultra personalized to be able to give ultra personalized feedback to the user. At the end of the day, what do you think, Karim? Which is your area of expertise?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. But there is another way to take it. I registers all what I wrote about my writings, my speeches, my all that in an AI, and it kind of looks like a kind of double of me, thinking like me, even phrasing like me, and I interrogate. I interrogate. I would say, okay. I make interrogation to my AI on a regular basis, and the response that I got are pretty precise, and I would say pretty on the spot. And it happens to you, Katie, and you, Yassine, without even knowing it. Look at you when you were using ChatGPT, for instance. When you use it, you use your session. So ChatGPT gets to know you after a while. Yes. He knows you. He knows what interests you. He knows how you react. He knows how to understand your type of writing. He knows how to align your writing to a certain types of character that he has embedded in the data he has. It has, I don't know how to call it. It could be a woman, by the way. And I think this is of a great importance. But also, I will talk about something that I like. It's a kind of hybrid AI human therapy model. So instead of relying solely on AI particularly on mental health platforms, those platforms could develop, I would say, it's just a blink thought, a kind of hybrid system where AI chatbot provide immediate support and collect preliminary data before seamlessly transitioning to users to human transcript. Then this would help the practitioner understand the whole environment of the person he has in front of or she has in front of him, and then get into a kind of emotional intelligence that can help out and I would say connect the dots and get really strong, profound insights. Because you don't when you speak with somebody, we were talking about doctors that they don't have time, but when you speak with somebody, whereas one way or another in a much profound way, because you have some data about that person, what he's about, what he thinks, and so on and so forth. That helps a lot with the discussion you have with that person, particularly when it gets to psychological things. I mean, purpose gets into a cycle of people because because of when they were young or how they grew. I mean, all this plays a role in purpose. So I think this hybrid AI human therapy model can be very helpful in the future. What do you think, guys?
I love all of that. I think you're right. I think a hybrid approach is really like the best case scenario. They can do a lot of the legwork, the pre-screening, get a lot of that critical data, and then open it up for a place for the one-to-one human interaction to take place. And there's no substitute for that. So I think what you described sounds like the best case scenario. And I think likely the direction we're going to see our healthcare and mental health practices heading.
Definitely. You said something, Katie, which is the human interaction is not replaceable. It's very important that, yes, AI will help us to be able to help more people, but then we are the ones who are having the interaction with people. So having for example, a simple example, very, very simple. Everyone went through this, which is whenever you have a problem with your phone and you're trying to call the customer service, they automatically redirect you to a AI customer service. So you're like, no, I want to talk to a real person. And you try to find a way to be able to talk to the real person. Why? Because they don't help you the way you want to get help, because it's over what they programmed to be able to help you. Now, if AI can help you in a certain way in a daily basis to be able to make healthier choices, for example, but then whenever you have a bigger problem and that the AI identifies that you need to go see a doctor or see your professional or talk with your fitness coach or whatever, this is where the game changes.
I wrote a book about your topic. As a scientist, me and my team are embedded so deeply, so profoundly into deep tech, which is a tech with advanced AIs, not even generative AIs, an AI that is even more advanced. And we do also some quantum simulation. So we get deep into things that sometimes frighten us. And my book was written because it was a kind of way to expectorate what I had inside. I had the necessity of writing a novel that would explain how the world is going to evolve in the 3 years to come, at least in my opinion. If I go into doing a shortcut, the book is a philosophical book about finding a purpose. Because when AI takes over and do whatever you want with robots or whatever, what you as a human are you going to do? What are you going to, and this you have to use it, by the way, use tech to determine that people have to find a purpose fast, very fast. I mean, it's all about the book, and it's all about what the book is about. And I think at the end, when we'll have everything automated around us, when we'll have AI that is 100 times more clever than us or 1,000 times more clever than us, robots doing our home, whatever we have to do, we'll have to come back to real relation. So we better, and I always say to Yassine, you're having human-to-human relation with your followers. Keep on track. You're in a good path, because we will need this human relation even more with the development of AI and robotics and quantum computing and all those sciences, because we will feel that we lose ground and we have to come back to the ground. And going back to the ground is having human-to-human relation and having through a purpose.
Can't wait to read it. It sounds fantastic.
It's a very easy to read novel. It was very difficult for me to write it because I didn't want to slip into so many fancy scientific terms. So it's a story of a woman that could be of your age, and she discovers she had a metabolic disease, and she finds technologists that help her solve her case. And a lot of things happen. It's about the tweaking food with AI, doing malvalence things. It's about using AI for the future of good AI and bad AI. And it's about, at the end, the conclusion is that, to stay human, you have to find a purpose. But I'll send it over to you. It'll be my pleasure.
Guys, it's the end of our podcast. Katie, please let us know where we can find you, where the community can find you. And I'm going to let you the stage to be able to give your final word of this podcast.
Sure. Yes. It's been an honor to be here. You guys are both fantastic people to have conversations with, and everything is just a wealth of information. So thank you so much for having me here today. I'm Katie Molumby, author of Purposeful Health, Intentional Guide to Personalized Wellness. You can find that on Amazon. My website is purposefulpathhealth.com. I'd love to work with you if you're looking to better your health with purpose and intentionality. And Purposeful Katie on Instagram and Facebook. And look forward to connecting with you guys more. Thank you.
Amazing. We'll leave everything down below in the description so you guys can check it out. We'll thank you again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button so you don't miss the next episode.
Yes, guys. See you.
See you. Bye-bye.